Is there anything that you're finding difficult or that you kind of struggle a bit more with?
No, what I try to do is, if you're familiar with the system, for each piece of evidence that you're supposed to upload, it might be something called minutes of meetings, for example.
Yeah.
The actual, the mini, let's call it a module, I don't know what the word is, but for that category of evidence,
yeah,
there's a note on the system that describes what they want you to upload. It's only usually a very short paragraph, maybe only a line sometimes, upload, for example, upload some minutes of meetings that you've been involved with agendas, with action notes, follow-ups. So I use that as almost my specification to go and find evidence that matches that description. Yeah. And then I put that up. What I've not done is, also it helpfully says, if you want, you can create a video and you can talk and present something to it. I've not been bold enough to do that yet. So, and that's just it's just not a fear of the technology, but
yeah,
how do I get a video of me talking about documents that are on my computer? It's just, I don't quite know how to do that, the mechanics of it.
Yeah.
So I've avoided that. I've just done like an upload of documents, and I've put a little bit of written narrative, very, very thin narrative, but a few comments to say how I've complied with the specification of what they're asking for.
I think you can also use voice notes as well. So things like you can do voice notes on your WhatsApp or voice notes on Teams, and I think you can upload those as well. So I mean, if you want to do something like that, John can help you with, talk you through doing any of that. So just with your role and the NVQ, do you think they go hand in hand? So have you been able to apply your knowledge and your experience to help with you to complete the NVQ?
Yes, definitely. So some of the questions are more structured to people who are working full-time on construction projects. So I've had to delve back into my previous construction project, where there's a wealth of information, obviously. So some of the site-based documents I've been able to get from there. So minutes of design team meetings, it was better for me to go back to my last construction project than a tender one, whereas other ones I've uploaded tender information or bid team information. So it's a bit of a blend for me of documentation, but going through the list, there's nothing on there that I've not covered before. So I mean, I am in a fortunate position. It's just collating the information off the various systems that we've got and getting it onto Bud.
And do you think it's quite manageable to do around? I know you said you've been busy for the week, but is kind of doing your NVQ quite manageable around your work as well?
Well, it has to take its turn in my life, if you know what I mean. So it's manageable, but if someone said I have to devote an hour a day to it, I wouldn't be able to devote an hour a day to it. But some days I can devote 2 hours, and then this week I've probably done I've done the minutes meetings one. I've got it ready to do, and I've not uploaded it. So, and that's probably all I've done all week, and it's just a timing thing. But I know this afternoon I'll get a bit of time, so I might upload that one, and I'll just keep ticking them off. But one of the things I was going to say was I thought this was a year's process, but because I've got the evidence, John thinks I'll be able to clear it off fairly quickly.
You can, and that's the thing. So they kind of say a year, but because you're quite experienced and like you said, you've got everything there already. I mean, it can be a super quick process. We've had a couple of people finish in 3 weeks because they've literally got everything there that they need to do. Obviously, we're not expecting everyone to do it that quickly. It's not, but yeah,
it's only on me, I think, at the moment. Yeah. Let's say get the evidence uploaded. If I stuck at it, I could certainly do it and get everything uploaded next week. Not a problem. Yeah. But that's probably the challenge I'll set myself.
So, what do you think's been kind of the best resource or support, that you found kind of the most helpful whilst you've been doing your NVQ?
Most helpful was definitely the first couple of conversations with John, where we were probably on the phone about an hour. He just gave me absolute confidence that on what the process was going to be, and he's let me talk, so I'm not having to present. I'm talking, and he very skillfully asked the questions to tease out or change me in a different direction, just because he probably knows I've probably had the experience. He wants me to tell him about it. So he's gathering evidence, and he videoed it all, and that evidence then he was able to say from my presentation, really, and use that as evidence to tick off several of the sections.
Yeah, fantastic. So John's very good with the professional discussions. So you can kind of do it that way, and you can do it with the uploading evidence. But we find, like you're saying, that once you're in a conversation and you're talking about the work, you're kind of ticking the boxes rather than you yourself having to go into each box, then having to upload evidence yourself. So is there anything else that you think you need to say about your NVQ or the admin, or even from Kier, to be honest?
No, I'll certainly. I want to share stuff back with Kier as well, because I want other people to not miss this opportunity. It's let's say it's a month's worth of work, and it's not work. It's a month. Over that time period, you do several sessions. It's not too difficult to do, Sam.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want anybody from Kier at my age to give up the opportunity, of keeping the CSCS card, which a lot of people will give it up because they'll think it's too difficult. If they think they've got to do a year's piece of work, which is what I did. And it isn't that. And it's just a question of gathering some evidence that you've got lying about on your computer everywhere.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is structure it into a bit of a story, to have it as a cohesive sort of link, consistent, comprehensive piece of information that meets the requirements of that particular module. It's not hard to do at all.